All right, a little bit of an update for you guys. BTC actually still does have a valid cup and handle. I think I mentioned here yesterday that BTC's cup and handle appeared to have been invalidated. It actually was not. I was mistaken. I did that by eye. When I actually pulled the percentages, it's still a valid cup and handle. So we'll see how it goes. It's definitely not ideal to have a day like yesterday, but I'm not trying to throw everything out immediately. I want to try to see how this plays out. Welcome to Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'm Randy. Today we are just going to look at BTC with the market in the situation that it is. It's a cautionary environment, and just don't feel like throwing a bunch of trades at people so they can lose money. Because in this environment, it's very unlikely that swing trades works out. And basically, this is a swing trading channel slash general technical analysis channel, but the concepts that we discuss are generally used for swing trading. You can actually use them for lower time frames and adapt them to lower time frames without much issue. But the analysis we do is really for swing trading because that's the general direction of the market. And so what's happening here is yesterday it was looking like we were going to kill general direction, kill the potential pattern that we were in, but that did not happen. So we are still in a cup and handle. We still have a little more downside to go. Um, the bad news is that we got 3 distribution days. The good news is this one's going to drop off as of today. And so if we close the day in a very minute fashion without big moves to the downside, we will have 2 distribution days instead of 3. And with 4 distribution days, you move into a correction. So we're teetering on edge a little bit, but we could pull it back. And you may ask, when does the next one expire? It's this candle right here, which is about 3 weeks newer than this candle. So it'll be another 3 weeks until this one expires. So we definitely have opportunities to sell off, but it also gives us opportunities to rally back and behave better. And so, right now, basically just observers in this market, and that's all we can be. If you want to try to trade lower time frames, you can try to make some money, but I'm telling you, it's probably going to be really small ball. You're not going to have a lot of opportunities. And the more trades you attempt to take, the more likely you are to fail. Because trading statistically, most swing trading strategies, there's guys that try to have like really great win rates, but most of the great traders don't have amazing win rates. They have great money management strategies, and they're able to take big profits out of the market while keeping their losses small. So that by definition tells you that most of the great traders out there, most of them, don't have great win rates, but they have great money management skills. And these are the markets that they generally will try to avoid unless they have very longer term strategies, in which case this is a nothing move for them. And they were in well down here and they're just holding for exit signals. So, anyway, that being said, we are basically in a holding pattern right now, waiting for the market to move up. 50-day support here I think could be fairly important. A lot of people follow the 50-day moving average. We didn't get actual support, but we didn't come down and meet it, which is good. It means that there is enough strength in this market that it didn't get down to the 50-day. But the volume is declining, and I think we're going to chop into the 50-day in the coming weeks. So we'll see how that goes. Now, bigger macro picture than that, bigger macro picture, we really haven't had any major consolidations since this last one down here, which was in February. So we could be due a larger consolidation up here, which means we could move into a choppy range of wider ranges. Okay, and so from that perspective, you could take this from a range bound trading perspective, change styles a little bit, look to buy some lows, and then look to sell some pops until we finally get a breakout. If you look at this purple 50-day moving average here, you can see it held up for the most part, but once we did start touching it and playing with it, we broke down underneath of it, and we really didn't get healthy again until we formed this flag pattern, breaking all 3 moving averages and then moving up again. So if you just look at the moving averages and say, okay, this is maybe our potential future, because if you look back at the charts, the moving averages converge and diverge, converge and diverge, and they do that frequently. Now this was a really choppy run up, didn't quite have the same cadence that this does, but you can see it here. They converge. This 50-day in purple here really goes from down almost to straight up, just a very small curve right there, and then they mix and they break, then they mix here, then they break, right? They mix, they break, they mix, they break. Now we're waiting for them to mix again. Okay, wait for the moving averages to mix, and it can take just a few weeks, and then we can break out again. But you can see it's going to take a couple weeks for them to get to the mixing section, and they can do anything because we're still above the 50 days. So they can stay low, they can pop higher. It's kind of a random walk at this particular point as to what the market's going to do. Um, but I do like the fact the cup and handle is still around. I think that is good for us longer term. I like the fact that we're above this low at 60,000 and change. That's good. So good signatures here. Um, but looks like we're just going to be taking a little bit more time. And that's all I got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Not much going in the altcoins. I think it's more of a wait and see market. If you're a longer term swing trader, if you're a shorter term day trader, you can try to find some opportunities. But even there's going to be a lot of chop in that style as well. It's a very choppy environment, so be very careful out there. My recommendation is just to not do too much. Uh, I believe trading should probably be called waiting because that's what you do most of the time. If you're a successful trader, you're waiting for your setups. Now, you may think that I just said that you can't have a shorter term successful trader, but keep in mind the amount of time that I spend watching the charts is less than the amount of time a day trader watches the charts. And the amount of time they spend waiting is probably the same amount of percentage that I spend waiting in my charts. So keep that in mind. Let that roll around a little bit. Wait more than you trade. Wait for your better setups and you'll do better. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow on Altcoin Buzz Trading.